Hey, hey, financial besties. Hmm. Hey, besties. How you doing? How you been? How you doing? How you been? If you watch my videos, I'm going to assume one or two things about you. You are either an investor in the stock market or you want to be. One of two. And if you're an investor in the stock market, you're either a seasoned investor or you're dibbling and dabbling and you confused as heck. You're trying to figure it out. One or the other. Am I right? Which one are you? Either way, have you ever consumed so much information about investing that you ended up more confused than when you started? Raise my hand. I mean, you probably follow 5 different gurus or finance influencers. You might subscribe to 5 or 6 newsletters, maybe 8, 9, 10 people that's promising you information in your inbox. I'm pretty sure you've read at least a dozen finance books. If you're anything like me, I'm pretty sure you've read a lot of books. And you most definitely consume a lot of personal finance and investing information watching YouTube videos every week. Am I right? Am I right? Tell me, am I right or am I completely off? But even after all of that, following the gurus, subscribing to the newsletters, reading the books, watching the videos, you still feel like you don't know exactly what to do because every expert says something a little bit differently. Drop a money bag in the chat if anything I'm saying sounds familiar. Drop a money bag in the chat if that sounds familiar. I can tell you right now, you are not alone, even if you don't see too many money bags. I'm standing with you because I've done all this. Drop a money bag. If anything I'm saying sounds familiar, let me see. Who's with me live? Hey, Miss Daisy. It's so good to see you. And it's so ironic to see you because I might talk about you a little bit tonight. I might talk about you just a little bit tonight. I know you can relate to this. It's so good to see you. I hope you're well. Hope you had a wonderful holiday, which, by the way, I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. But put a money bag in the chat if anything I'm saying sounds familiar. Who's with me tonight? I only see a comment from Miss Daisy. But I know more than Miss Daisy is watching. I can see that you're watching. But my point is, I just want other people to come up and say, yep, that's me. I've done it. I can relate, because I want others to see that you are not alone, because you're certainly not alone. I see it all the time. And as I said, I've done it. So in this video, I want to talk about how to cut through all of that noise and actually start building a portfolio that grows. Because I'm sure when you're confused and overwhelmed, your portfolio is probably not doing too much or at least probably not doing what you think it should be doing. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to talk about cutting through that noise so we can build that portfolio. Who else put a money bag? Who else put a money bag in the chat? Living a life of intention. I see you. Which reminds me, before we get started, hey y'all. Did I say hey? If you're with me live, y'all know what to do. If you're watching live, let me know. Drop some money babies in the chat. Y'all know I like to see the money babies. And look. I don't want to pronounce your name wrong, Guyanese Aussie. Let me see your money babies in the chat. And let me know, where are you in the world? I see we got someone from Australia in the house. What's up, y'all? Where are you in the world? But if this is your first time seeing one of my videos or your first time catching me live, hey girl, hey. I'm Malika. I am a stock market investor and a money coach. I have been investing in the stock market for over 20 years. I built my portfolio and I retired early at 47. Then after I retired, I traveled around the world for a little bit. And earlier this year, I decided to make Southeast Asia my home. I live in Bali, but I'm temporarily right now in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. But I find that in this area of the world, I have a much, much better quality of life. And I absolutely love it here. But now I also get to spend time with my sisters and other ambitious women that are like me. I help them invest so they too can build wealth and retire early, or make work optional if that's what they prefer. Now, not everyone want to quit their job like me, even though I would like for everyone that I know to quit them raggedy jobs. Replace your income with your own money doing the work for you. But I say work optional as an alternative because not everyone want to leave work. Don't understand it, but that's okay. I can still help you to become work optional. But if that speaks to you, subscribe to my channel, because that's what I usually talk about around here. Either investing, traveling the world, or living abroad. That's what you're going to get from this channel. So if that is of interest, subscribe. Don't hit that button down there. Subscribe to my channel. You'll love it here. A lot of my OG besties been around since the channel was created, 2 years ago? So yeah, if you're interested in those 3 topics, you'll love it here. So let me see who's with me. Say hello to those that are leaving comments in the chat. Hey, Miss Optimistic. He says she can relate. Hello, Miss Lily Bell. We got Aussie. Aussie is Helena. Hey, Helena from Perth. Hit the nail on the head regarding invest overload information. Yeah. We got KG and we got Sherry Bush. What's up, Sherry? I saw your comment the other day on, it was either on the community post or the last video I did. That was so sweet. But you are in Pennsylvania. Oh, is it cold in Pennsylvania right now? I bet it is. You has my sympathy, Miss Sherry. It's about 70, low 70s where I am. It's cloudy though. It's cloudy. I'm actually looking out the window at the mountains. I have a beautiful view. I actually love this apartment. The Wi-Fi sucks. Hopefully we won't have the same connectivity problems like we did before. The Wi-Fi sucks. If I stay here long term, I'll probably look into upgrading or switching providers. It's a beautiful view. Anyway, let's talk about that feeling of being overwhelmed with investing, confused with investing. Sherry said, yeah, it's cold. Hey, Jen. Ooh, I don't want to mess up your name. I'm not going to disrespect you like that, sister, and butcher that at all. So I'll just say hello. Hello to you. I see you. But y'all, don't let the stock market intimidate you. Don't do it. Because if I know anything about the women in my community, the Black women in my community specifically, you are smart and you are capable. That's without question. So let's make that clear. But you are overwhelmed and confused simply because you're listening to too many voices. And those voices are giving you conflicting information and conflicting messages. It's not to say that they're wrong, but there are so many different ways to invest in the stock market. There are so many different assets you can buy in the stock market. There are so many different commodities that are available in the stock market. So each expert is going to tell you something different based on how they invest. And if you are trying to listen to everyone, you're either going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit. You're going to try to do a little bit of everything that each one of them are saying. Or you're just going to freeze and do nothing at all because you're listening to so many different voices. And it's confusing because the messaging is conflicting. Right? And as Black women, we have an added layer on top of that. We historically, because of our lived experiences, because of our parents and grandparents' lived experiences, when it comes to any financial institution, any bank, the stock market, we were just taught not to trust it because of what our ancestors experienced. So historically, we have learned to be hyper vigilant with our money to avoid expensive mistakes because we can't afford to lose our life savings. And we don't have trust funds to depend on, to fall back on. Right? So many of us, we are those professionals at management level, executive level, or just hardworking in general, highly educated. And we're operating at very high levels. We're strategic, we're ambitious, we're critical thinkers. But when you have all of these different sources providing conflicting information about a topic that already feels intimidating, or about a topic that you already feel bad about because you feel like I should already know this because you're so smart, all of that finance bro language is just going to go all over your head. So it's understandable why you would feel overwhelmed. And it's understandable why you would be confused. Because with all that conflicting information, you don't know what to think. You don't know who's right. And therefore, you don't know who to believe. All of that information, it just simply, it's information overload. And if you try to take action with all of that conflicting information, here's what's going to happen. And if you have tried to take action doing a little bit of everything from all of that conflicting information, I can assure you this has happened. You're going to make poor investing decisions. And what do I mean by poor investing decisions? I mean, you're going to take on more risk than you can really tolerate. Because that person that told you to buy NVIDIA, and you bought it just because they said it and you don't know anything about the company, you are taking on more risk than you can tolerate. You don't know the fundamentals of the company and why NVIDIA keep going up, even though their fundamentals don't support it. I feel sorry for you, my friend. You're going to end up with a raggedy portfolio full of a bunch of random stocks. And if you think ETFs help you to diversify and take on less risk, you may have a raggedy portfolio full of a bunch of different ETFs. Or worse, you're going to lose money. You're going to lose money. Because if you're following a guru, you're watching a YouTube video, or you're reading a book and you're just investing based on what they're saying. They told you, I invest in Apple. I invest in Bitcoin. So you go buy it. You don't know when they sold it. So they probably sold it at the right time because they're seasoned investors and they took their profit. So then when the market comes back down and that stock starts to suffer and you are now at a loss and you don't know what to do, so you sell and then you lock in your loss. But you don't know that person that you followed that told you to buy it, they'd already sold it a month ago. So making investment decisions based on following a bunch of different voices, it's not a good thing. Information overload and trying to act on information overload, that's not a good thing. All right. Let me know in the chat. What is one thing about investing that confuses you that you wish someone would just explain in simple terms? Let me know. And I'll choose a couple and I'll explain it to you right now. When I'm talking to my coach, I tell her, girl, talk to me like I'm 5. Because when she's talking about that advanced stuff that's going over my head, or when I'm working with my training coach, which I haven't been since I've been dealing with the cancer treatment and recovery and stuff. But when I was working with my trading coach and I was getting into trading futures, and he would be talking about market structure and, looking at these levels and that. Bruh, talk to me like I'm 5. So if you need somebody to talk to you like you're 5, I get it. So let me know, what is one thing about investing that you wish someone would just explain in simple terms? Let me know in the chat. And I'll talk to you like you're 5. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Hello, living life of intention, how to invest in fractional shares. Okay. So if I were talking to a 5-year-old, this is how I will explain that. So have you ever had one of those like apple cutters? Like it has like all the sharp pieces and you just put it on top of the apple and press down and it breaks the apple. It slices the apple for you in a bunch of different pieces, right? So imagine that. I don't know if I might be showing my age, but that device I'm thinking about is something that my grandmother had, and I used to use it all the time. I can't find it in stores anymore. But essentially, that whole apple is a whole share. And when you slice that apple into all of those pieces, those are fractional shares. So let's say that whole apple, for one share, that whole apple cost $5. But you don't have $5. You only have $2.50. So investing in fractional shares means that you can still invest your $2.50 and you can still invest in that apple, but you won't get a whole apple. You'll just get half of the apple. you will just get a fractional share of the apple. So how to invest in fractional shares? The same way as buying a full share. You open up your brokerage account, you put your $2.50 in there, you find the stock or the ETF or fund that you want to buy. So you find that apple and you tell your broker, I only have $2.50 and I want this stock. Your broker will see that that apple costs $5. So it's going to buy you $2.50 worth of that $5 apple. So when the transaction is complete, you will have a half an apple in your portfolio or in your basket, your shopping basket. Does that make sense? How did I do, y'all? Talking to a 5-year-old. That's how I would explain it to my grandson if he asked me that question. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sherry. Sherry said I did good. That's a start. How I'm investing right now in fractional shares. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Awesome, awesome. Let's see. I'll pick one more. How to analyze and pick stocks for long term and when to sell. You only get to ask one question. You ask 3 different questions. So I'm going to pick one. How to analyze stocks. So when you are investing in individual stocks, I'm assuming that's what you're asking. When you want to invest in a company, in individual stocks, there are quite a few things that I teach my clients to make sure they know before they put money into a company, and that's called fundamental analysis. I provide a framework. I provide a template for them to follow so they're not drowning in information and have that information overload. But I provide the key things that they should know no matter what before investing in a company. And then I also provide a list of, you might want to know this before you go all in and put thousands and thousands of dollars in the company, right? So I'll just give you like the top 1 or 2 things that my clients do when we're doing fundamental analysis. The first thing that you should know about every company before you invest in that company is, how do they make money? Because the whole concept of investing is you want to make money, right? You don't want to invest in a company just because it's popular and hope you're going to make money. We don't invest based on hope, right? Because hope is not a strategy. So the very first thing you want to know is, how does this company make money? So if you want to invest in Apple, for example, let's continue with the Apple analogy. Again, talking to a 5-year-old, act like I'm talking to my grandson. If my grandson wanted to invest in Apple, I would ask him, what does Apple sell that makes money, that makes them profitable, that makes them better than their competitors? What would you say? A lot of people think, when they think of Apple, they think of phones. That's the default thing that comes to mind because that's what Apple is known for. But I caution my clients because what's popular is not always the company's number 1 source of revenue. As an investor, you need to understand how the company makes money. Okay? The second thing I tell my clients to look for is understand the leadership of the company, who's running the company. You need to understand who's running the company, because if they are doing some backhanded stuff and running the company into the ground, how are you going to make money? So you need to understand the leadership and their vision for the company. For example, Tesla. Tesla is a very, very popular tech stock. But when Tesla's CEO was not doing his job, instead he was working with the government and leading what was his department called? The Department of something, some trash. He wasn't being CEO anymore. He was focused on dismantling our government. Tesla's stock tanked. Tesla started missing key deliverables. The company was starting to feel the impact of poor leadership. So you need to know who's running the company and their vision for the company, right? Because when you give a company your money, what you're essentially saying is, I want to own a portion of this company because I believe that this company is going to be profitable. And because you're going to be profitable, you're going to help me make money. And you don't know that if you don't, one, know who's running the company, or two, how they make money. How'd I do? How'd I do? Talking to a 5-year-old? Did I explain that well enough for a 5-year-old to understand how to analyze a stock? There's so much more to it than that I do teach in Invest with Ease. That all of my clients that have been through Invest with Ease, they are well versed in fundamental analysis. But that's the gist of it. That's the gist of it. You need to understand the inner workings of the company. If you put your money into a stock and you know nothing about the company, you're gambling. You're gambling and you're hoping. But if you want to learn more about analyzing a company, you want to learn how to pick a stock, how to know if a stock is a good stock to buy based on their financial metrics. If you want to know when to buy, when to sell, I invite you to join us and Invest with Ease. I'm starting a new cohort in January, and there are, last I checked, there are 3 seats left. So if you would like to go deeper with me to learn more, I would recommend that you apply to join Invest with Ease, the January cohort. Start your new year off right with me. Start your new year off right. Oh, thank you, Miss Daisy. Thank you. I try my best to make it as simple as possible because I truly, Invest with Ease is not just the name of my program. I truly embody ease with everything I do, whether it's my regular life or my investments, how I manage my money. I do everything with ease. It's not just a buzzword for me. So I do try to make investing as simple as possible. It's not always easy to do because you do have to do the work, right? If you truly want to leverage profitability, right? But I do try to make it simple. So yeah. Can you describe your program? My coaching program? Did you have a specific question about it? So the general description of the program is Invest with Ease. I coach, it's exclusively for Black women. I coach Black women on how to navigate the stock market, on how to define their goals, and then we create a plan to help you bridge the gap between where you are now and your goal. And then I teach you investing strategies to implement that plan, right? I teach you how to structure your portfolio in order to manage risk and also to help you grow your portfolio. And we do that in Invest with Ease. And I teach you how to do that. The program is structured to be 12 weeks long. And there are phases and milestones that we tackle throughout that 12-week period. And at the end, you will know how to navigate the stock market. You will know how the stock market is structured. You will know that the downside of the market is actually managed. Most novice investors don't know that. So you will understand how the stock market is managed so that it will avoid the fear and the grief that you have when you see, your portfolio red, right? You will see a lot of my clients say when the stock market is red, I see opportunities because they understand how the market is structured and how it's managed. You'll have a plan for your goals and you'll have a strategy to implement that plan, and you'll know how to manage your portfolio on your own. So, yeah, so that's the gist of my program. If you have any specific questions, let me know, and I'll circle back to your comment. Okay? Hello, Miss L. How you doing? How you been? All right, let's move on. Let's move on. You all get an opportunity to ask more questions later. But if you have more questions that you want to ask right now, just put a Q in front of it so that when I do scroll back in my comments, I can find it pretty quickly. But getting back to the topic of the information overload and just feeling overwhelmed by investing, I remember Miss Daisy, I think I would talk about you too. I won't share anything private. I won't share anything that you haven't already shared in the video that we did together on my channel. But I remember my first experience in the stock market where I just felt so overwhelmed. Back then, I used to read money magazines. A lot of personal finance information was found in magazines. Probably showing my age now. But I used to read money magazines. Also back then, blogging was a thing. I even had my own finance blog, but I used to read the magazines. I used to read the finance blogs. I listened to all the self-proclaimed gurus. I followed advice from, it's so crazy as I'm thinking about it. Like, girl, what was you doing? It's like I followed advice from white dudes just because they sounded smart. And what I realize now in hindsight, that's the dumbest thing I've ever done, because why would you follow investing advice from someone whose life looks nothing like yours, whose financial capacity is nothing like yours, whose risk tolerance is nothing like yours, because they don't have the same responsibilities that you do? Following these young 20, 30-year-old white dudes, and here I am, a Black woman, a single mom with an 8-year-old. Our lives were completely different. Their strategy wasn't even perfect. It wasn't good for my lifestyle or my goals, but I'm trying to do what they're doing. Girl, that's why my portfolio wasn't growing either. And it's also why I was so frustrated and so overwhelmed, because I wasn't getting anywhere. I was following the gurus. I was listening to all of the conflicting information, and none of it was right for me and my life and my goals. I did have a mentor. Y'all heard me talk about her so many times in other videos. In fact, I would love to connect with her again and invite her on my channel, because I credit her for so much, and she doesn't even know this, y'all. At least I don't think so. But I didn't want to feel like I was bothering her, so I tried to just figure it out on my own. And I share this because I know that's what a lot of you are doing. You're just trying to figure it out on your own. But the thing about it is, I knew I didn't need more information. I was already overwhelmed with the information I had. I do know I didn't need more strategy, because I didn't even understand the strategies I was already trying to follow. I needed to focus, but I didn't know what to focus on. It was just so much. It was a lot. But I did eventually come to my senses. I did eventually tell my mentor what was going on. And she basically said, what I'm saying now, girl, what are you doing? And she was also a single mom. And although she was my mentor for my career to help me get onboarded and acclimated to my new career field, she was way more advanced in the career than I was. But she understood the demands of the job and how I wouldn't be able to focus and be able to do active trading or anything like that. So she shared a few suggestions with me that were aligned with my lifestyle as a single mom that she understood because she was a single mom, and strategies that were aligned with my goals and where I wanted to go. And once I stopped listening to all the gurus online and followed her suggestions, just her suggestions, I cut out the noise. Just her suggestions, not anyone else's. That's when it started clicking for me. That's when investing started making sense. When I cut out all the freaking noise. I didn't feel like overwhelmed from the information overload anymore. I stopped trying to follow all the gurus. I did have a raggedy portfolio, but I stopped trying to follow all the gurus. I stopped doing multiple strategies, trying to do all the things. I focused on the one approach that she gave me. And then I started seeing my portfolio grow. That's when I started getting some action and started seeing the portfolio grow. And what's crazy is all those white dudes I was following, they made me feel like I had to do all this research, or I had to learn how to read the charts. And I'm seeing these colors, the red and the green and this and that. I didn't know what that was. But when I followed what she told me to do, I didn't have to do a whole bunch of research. I did have to do a little bit of research, like those things I just shared with you, the basics that you need to know about a company. But I didn't have to do endless hours of research. I didn't have to spend hours at my computer trying to read charts, all the things I thought I needed to do based on what the finance bros was telling me. I just followed the one thing that she told me to do, and I felt like I was seeing growth in my portfolio because I was investing smarter, not harder. Yeah. Looking back, thinking back on that, it's hilarious now. But all the things that you're experiencing, I know it, and I can call you out on it because I've done it too. I've done it too. And it's now what my mentor did for me is now what I get to do for others and invest with ease. I help women find that one strategy that works for them. I help women find that one approach that works for their goals. What I do in my life right now may not be good for you. So I'm not telling you what to do. I take the time to understand what you are trying to accomplish, and I help you find the approach that works for you. That's what I do and invest with ease. And I love it so much. I love it so much. I'm so excited about the January cohort. All the ladies I've already onboarded. As I mentioned, we got 3 seats left. At least it was 3 before I started the live. But we got 3 seats left. So if you want to join us, click the link in the video description and apply. And we'll see what happens. All right. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Daisy, I see you. I'm going to talk about you next. Talk about you next. But let me know. Have you, for my investors, actually even non-investors, because this may apply to other things in life too. Have you ever felt overwhelmed about something for a long time? And then it finally, like, you learned one thing or you figured out that one strategy that just unlocked it for you and it finally clicked. Have you ever experienced that? Or is it just me? Y'all don't leave me hanging by myself. If you've experienced that, like you felt overwhelmed about something for a long time, but you learned that one piece of the puzzle you needed, and then it finally clicked. What was that for you? What was that for you? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious. I'm curious. Yeah, Miss Daisy, I'm about to talk about you right now. I'm gonna talk about you next. Miss Daisy, she was a perfect client though. So perfect. She said, I had a raggedy portfolio. It was really bad. I'm gonna talk about you too bad, Miss Daisy. But yeah, she was one of them. She was one of them. Oh, you're welcome, Dana. You're welcome with the question you asked. So I'm glad that was helpful. Glad that was helpful. You're going to chat with me. You're going to share with me. Have you ever felt overwhelmed about something and then it finally clicked? What was that thing? What was that thing for you? Is there a lag in the chat, I wonder? Because I see it's a lot of y'all watching, and I don't see any responses to my question coming through. Let me refill my cup. Let me refill my cup. I'm waiting for y'all to respond. I found this juice company that I like. My what you call it? My day and Putu and Bali, my Bali family. I had a headache one day, and they taught me how to relieve headaches without taking medicine. My day, she made this natural concoction for me. Had a headache for like 2 days, and when I drank it, I felt it start relieving itself within minutes. But the main ingredient was beetroot juice. Beetroot juice is the main ingredient, and now I love it. And I drink it every day. I did my Googles, and I learned that beetroot juice, it has the component is, I want to say, nitrous oxide, and it converts to nitrates in the body, and that helps to expand your blood vessels, and as a result, it lowers your blood pressure, it relieves headaches, it does so many beautiful things. So I like drinking beetroot juice, but I don't like the flavor of it by itself. So I found this juicer that makes it for me perfectly. So it's beetroot juice, lemon, green apple, Granny Smith apple, and a little bit of watermelon juice, just for a little bit of sweetener. But you see how dark it is. It's mainly beetroot juice. And then he puts chia seeds in there for me so I can have a little bit of fiber. So that's what I've been drinking in the morning when I finally break my fast. Oh, I've been fasting too. Like, I need to do a separate video on the healthcare changes I've made since I've been here in Asia. It's just so healthy. It's easy to be healthy in Asia. But when I break my fast, I break it with my beetroot juice first before I eat anything solid. But anyway, Danak, am I saying your name correctly? Danak said she's experienced that, being overwhelmed, and then it finally clicked. What did you experience that with? Do you want to share any more details, Danak? Hey, Penny. Hey, girl. Hey, Penny's a channel member. She's also a client. Got the money babies. Let's see. For years, KG said, for years, I felt overwhelmed trying to understand American football. It finally clicked when I started researching the game and listening to others talk about it. Oh, yeah, researching the game is what you were saying. Okay. Yeah, that's a perfect example. American football is one of the things that just go over my head. All I see is just a bunch of men running up and down the court with the ball in their hand. I don't know what the lines mean. I've been in the house with my uncle and my brother and all the people I know that watch football. I even have some female family members that are like football fanatics. And conversations just go all over my head. So that has not clicked for me yet. But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, though. Denox said recently learning new systems at work. Okay. You was making it too hard when it wasn't even hard. Yeah. Yeah. Investing is the same way. Investing is the same way. You make it too hard because you have information overload. You're trying to listen to so many different people. But if you find one source that you can trust, that can give you one approach, it can make it so simple. So simple. Give you one approach that's fit for you, not just one random approach that's a cookie cutter for everybody. No, but one approach that is a good fit for you. Yeah. You realize that you were the one making it hard, and it doesn't have to be that hard. Yeah. Okay, I'll do one more, and then we'll talk about Daisy. We're gonna talk about Daisy, y'all. Lilibel said, "Learning a new oh yes, learning a new language. It felt overwhelming, but speaking it with others or even by myself has helped me make strides faster towards fluency." That I can definitely relate to as well. Yes. I don't know if you saw the video I did. It's titled "The Real Reason I Left Merida, Mexico." When I first left the United States and wanted to live abroad, I went to Mexico first. And in that video, one of the many reasons I left was the language. I had studied Spanish so many years in so many different ways, formally in high school and college. I've done immersion programs where I've gone, like I did a trip to Guatemala and I lived with the host family and I spent like 4 to 6 hours a day in class learning. And I know it's me. I just make it a lot harder than it needs to be. But my problem is I know the words. I can read Spanish better than I can speak it. I know the words. But when someone is talking to me, I make it more complicated because what I receive, it parks in my brain first, and then I want to convert it to English. And then I get the output in English. Then I want to respond in English. And then it parks in my brain. I convert it to Spanish and then say it in Spanish. And all of those steps in that process, it made me so fatigued. I was so exhausted because I was making it so freaking hard. And I've heard people tell me, stop trying to convert it in your head. Just listen and speak back. Use the words you know. And by speaking and being immersed in the environment, that's what helps you practice. But I was trying so hard to formalize everything and to use the correct conjugations and the correct, like, I was just making it so hard. That's a perfect example of being overwhelmed. But I was so fatigued. I was like, I got to get out of Mexico. I need to hear some English. It's too much. Like, I was so exhausted. I was taking naps and I hadn't done anything all day but go to school, but go to Spanish class. So yeah, I'm happy that you're making strides towards fluency. Awesome. 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 Now, if I decide I want to learn a new language, which I do want to learn Bahasa Indonesia, and the language they speak here in Malaysia is very similar to the language they speak in Indonesia, but also in Malaysia, English it's not the primary language, but it's widely spoken even in Malaysian homes, so not just in touristy areas. So most people in Malaysia speak English, so I haven't had to try to learn anything here. And I think I may want to try to learn Thai too. I may spend some time in Thailand. But I do have a Bahasa tutor. And it's been interesting, but I'm not going to do formal education anymore. I just want to be conversational if I try to learn again. But that's a perfect example. Being overwhelmed, making it way too hard, harder than it needs to be. And then you find that one person to teach you, or you have that one experience, or you have that breakthrough that shows you the easier way. And you're like, I wish I was doing it this way all along. But yeah, that breakthrough feels so good though, doesn't it? When you finally have that breakthrough, it feels so good. So, so good. But y'all, let me tell you about Daisy. I see her in my comments. Let me tell you about Daisy. Hmm. And I'm not going to share anything that she hasn't already shared. She was on my channel. There's a video on my channel. It's under the playlist called um, client client wins or something like that. Something to that effect. But her video is in that playlist. And you might have to go back about a year ago. I think she was on my channel in like mid 2024. But to be honest, a lot of the clients that I work with, when they first come to me, they've had this experience at some point along their journey. But Miss Daisy, Miss Daisy was reading books during our very first session. Because when I start working with you, our first session is just getting to know you, right? She told me she was reading books. She told me all the titles of the books that she had read, and they were all good books too, but they just had different ways of approaching the market. And there's so many different types of investing. There's growth investing, there's value investing, there's index investing. There's so many different types of investing. So she was reading all these books of all these different investing strategies. She was following all the YouTubers. I'm so glad she found me. I think she took a few courses too. Didn't you, Miss Daisy? Didn't you take a couple of courses? Well, after all that, all the books, all the YouTubers, all the courses, Miss Daisy had a raggedy portfolio and she was losing money. I can laugh now. And the only reason why I can laugh now, because I know she's not losing money anymore. I know she's making money now. But Miss Daisy was all over the place. She was all over the place. But when she came to me and she wanted to clean up her portfolio, she knew she was all over the place and she was overwhelmed and she was frustrated. And she wanted to build wealth, not only for herself, but she wanted to be able to leave a legacy for her children. And she knew at the rate she was going and the path that she was on, it wasn't cutting it. She was trying to piece together all of these advice from all these different people, all these different sources, and it just wasn't working. So because of that pain she had experienced, I knew off the bat I was not going to pile on top of that and give her even more conflicting information by sharing my way. This is how I do it. That would not have been helpful at all for where she was at that time. So I did not pile on the information that she already had. But what I did for her, and Miss Daisy, feel free to chime in if I miss any details that you think were as important to you. But what I did for her, I took the time to understand what she had done before she came to me and what she was trying to achieve. And the reason why identifying those two things separately was important is because next I helped her to see what she did do right. I never ever want to pile on top of you and make you feel even worse than you already feel yourself. So as your coach, I'm going to help you see what you did do right because it isn't all wrong, right? But I helped her to understand what was in her portfolio that was pretty good. She did do pretty well making those choices, but based on the goal that she was trying to achieve, I also helped her to see what wasn't working. And on top of that, not only did I help her to see what wasn't working, but I helped her to understand why. I helped her to understand why it wasn't working. Someone telling you this is good, this is bad, may give you some relief that, okay, at least I'm doing this right and this is wrong, so I need to fix this. But if they're not explaining why, it's not going to help you at all, because you will repeat that mistake again down the line if they're just telling you what to do and you're just following their advice blindly and you never understood why. You're going to end up repeating that same mistake again in a couple of months or a couple of years. But after we covered that baseline, what she was doing well, what wasn't working based on the goals that she shared, what she said she wanted to achieve, not what Malika does. I helped her to see what wasn't working and why it wasn't working. And then I helped her to understand a strategy that was aligned with her goals, her life, and her financial capacity. I need y'all to hear me when I say this. Investing should not be cookie cutter. If you see Malika doing something online, or if you see, I don't want to call out any other financial people, doing what they're doing blindly is not how you build a portfolio long-term for sustainable wealth. When the market goes down, that's why you're stressed, because you don't know why you did what you did. And you don't know what's going to happen to the asset that you have, because you don't even know why you bought it, just because XYZ said it. So what I helped her do was find a strategy that was aligned with her goals, with her life, with her financial capacity. And because I knew what her lifestyle was like, the approach needed to be simple. It needed to be simple and something that she could understand. Miss Daisy ain't no spring chicken. I'm not either. But it needed to be something simple that she could understand. Right? And the most important thing is that she did not follow what I said blindly. She understood why. That approach fit her goals, her life, and her financial capacity. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Because after following all those gurus, reading all those books, taking all those courses for all those years, she was losing money. But the one approach that I gave her, because it was tailored to her, that's what finally clicked for her. That's what finally helped it to click. Because it fit her. I wasn't trying to fit a circle in a square box. I understood that her box was square. I understood the capacity in her box. Right? So she wasn't overwhelmed anymore. She wasn't confused anymore. In fact, she's now confident in the investing decisions that she makes, and she's no longer losing money anymore. Right? She's growing her portfolio and she's building wealth for her kids and her grandkids. And now she understands it so well, what she's doing, she can teach it to her children and her grandchildren, so that when she passes on the money, it's not going to be gone in 6 months. She can teach it to them so they know what to do with it too. Y'all picking up the value of following a strategy that you understand, because it fits your life. It fits your goals. It fits your financial capacity. That's what I help my clients do in Invest with Ease. That's what I help my clients do when they need to cut through all the noise. We don't do cookie cutter information, because what works for me doesn't work for you. We have completely different risk tolerance. Completely different risk tolerance. My portfolio is 95% high risk. I would never suggest that to you. So I don't tell you what I do. I don't tell you what's in my portfolio. I invest in this. You should invest in this too. That's not coaching. That's not coaching. I help my clients cut through the noise and understand what works for them. And they understand it. That's why they can do it on their own. I don't want you to need me indefinitely, to rely on me indefinitely. After our time together, you should be so well versed in your strategy and your portfolio. You can take your plan that we developed together and implement it on your own. I am not here to be your crutch. I'm here to empower you to know what I know so you can do it on your own. Let's see what Miss Daisy said. Talk too bad. I talked too bad about you, Miss Daisy, did I? Let me see. She said, "Oh, I'm so glad you found me too." Yeah. And she said, "You spent so much money on books and courses. How many courses did you take, Miss Daisy, before you found me? How many courses? I'm curious." It was great to have you as my coach. I learned so much, but most of all, my eyes were opened and my final plan was amazing. Thank you for saying that, Miss Daisy. And ooh, this point is never too late to learn and start investing with ease. Yes, it is never too late. Most of my clients are not spring chickens. Most of them are not. But then again, the spring chickens don't have any money to invest anyway. So yes, we ain't spring chickens, but it's never too late. It's never too late. I have another client, Miss Donna. I ain't gonna talk about Miss Donna, y'all. I'll say Miss Donna for another day, maybe next video. But Miss Donna was another one that took other courses before me, before she found me. And I'm not knocking those other courses. Yeah, they learned a little bit. But Miss Donna always says, I knew I wanted more. And that's why she signed up for Invest with Ease. And I'm sure she was probably a little skeptical. She thought it would just be more of the run-of-the-mill cookie cutter stuff that she's seen before in other courses. And she would tell you, I got more than what I expected from you in Invest with Ease. There's a video, Miss Donna's video is also on my channel where she shares that already. But if you're watching, Miss Donna, hey. But yeah, Miss Donna took other courses, other coaching programs before me, but she says none of them are like yours. She gets so much more from me because she say I go deeper. Most of these investing courses are very surface level. You can learn how to invest in index funds from watching YouTube. And if that's all you want to do, then that's fine. Invest with Ease is not for you. But if you want to go deeper, if you want to learn strategy and you want to tailor that strategy to you, you want to grow your portfolio, you want to learn how to analyze so you have an edge over the index fund investors, then Invest with Ease is for you, right? I teach my clients how to follow the money. I teach my clients how to understand what the institutional investors are doing. Sometimes we call them whales. Sometimes we call them sharks because they don't care about you and your money. They don't care that it's your life savings, that it's all you had in your 401k. They don't care about none of that. You give it to them, they're going to take it. My clients know how to navigate the stock market and leverage the path that the whales create. So we do it with less effort because we know how to do what the whales do. But I love this work. I love that you all give me the opportunity to use my brain, to use my gifts, and to not just whittle away in retirement. Not that that would be a bad thing, because I could be on the beach in Bali or in Penang, Malaysia, and just drink my fruit juice all day. But I imagine that would get bored too. That would get boring after a while. Ain't but so much beach days you can have every month. So I do truly, truly enjoy coaching because you give me an opportunity to pour into you and to help you to have that breakthrough and to have that aha moment, that light bulb moment, that moment when it clicks after all the years of trying and all the books and all the courses and all the gurus and all the YouTube videos, just seeing your face light up when you come through my program and you're like, I finally get it now. It warms my heart because I feel like I'm doing something important. Because I know once you get it, it's not just going to benefit you. I know it's going to have a trickle down effect. It's going to benefit your children and your grandchildren and your nieces and your nephews. And I don't want to be cliche and talk about generational wealth, but we're not going to have the next generation starting over from ground zero and struggling the way we did. Our children, our brown and Black children, just by learning this skill and just by you choosing to be the one that changes the trajectory of your family line. You choosing to be the one, I want to learn this and I need to figure this out. The trickle down benefits it has in your family, it doesn't stop at just you. So being someone that can create that bridge, that can pour into you so that you can change your family line, bro, that's like next level service to me. I truly get so much value, so much joy, and so much benefit from serving my clients because I know it's not just you that I'm changing. And I love that for us. And I do it exclusively for Black and brown women because we don't have resources that we can trust. But I made all the mistakes, so you don't have to. And I hide out in the places and the spaces where the finance bros are, so you don't have to. I learn from them and figure out how to adjust it to us, adjust it to our language, so you don't have to. And as I continue evolving, you may have heard me say this, there are levels to this money game. As I continue evolving, all the ladies in my sister circle, that's the level beyond Invest with Ease. All the ladies in my sister circle, I bring them with me. So it's an ongoing exchange, an ongoing process. And we grow together. And I love it. I love it. Let's see. Oh, you said you did learn from them, Miss Day. Okay, so she did learn. She did learn something from them. All right, let's give credit where credit is due. Yeah, you did learn from them, but it wasn't helping. It's because it didn't fit you, your life, your goals, your financial capacity. It was cookie cutter. It was general information. There's a lot of general information that's good. There are some people, they just teach general information. I'm not a teacher, I'm a coach. So I don't just give you the information. You also need to understand how to implement it and why that information is important to implement, right? So I understand what you mean. You did learn, but it didn't help very much. I didn't realize you took 3 courses. Oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. All that money. All that money. Yeah, but you got it now though. And I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. Let's see, Miss Shakina. Hey, girl, hey. Is there a minimum amount of capital your clients are recommended to have to enroll in your program? Thank you for asking this question, Shakina. I do have a baseline criteria, and it's not just the amount of capital. Because the way I teach and the way my program is structured, you have to start at a certain level, and my program is not for everybody. So my criteria is that you are financially stable. That's first and foremost. I have several people that want my help, but they come to me and they want a savior. They come to me and they're desperate and they want to make money fast. That is not what I do. While I sympathize with anyone in that position, that's not what I do. So I will not take your money because I will be doing a disservice. And that's not what Invest with Ease is for, right? So if you are in a lot of high interest debt and you are robbing Peter to pay Paul and you can barely keep up with your bills and you think investing is the way out because you can make money, that's not what Invest with Ease is for. So my baseline criteria is that my clients have to be financially stable. You are able to comfortably meet all of your financial obligations without strain, because if you're not meeting your basic obligations, how are you going to have money to invest? Right? So I just emphasize financial stability. And when it comes to how much capital you invest, you really don't need a lot of money to invest. You can invest with $5, if I'm being honest. But I do establish the criteria a little bit higher than that, because if you want to build wealth, I teach you how to build wealth. I teach you strategies to grow your portfolio. If you want to build wealth, you ain't going to build wealth with $5. So the minimum that I suggest in order to meet my baseline criteria is the financial stability. You can cover all of your monthly financial obligations and have at least $100 a month to invest. And I say $100 because when you implement my strategies, you want to be able to see the results of it. So you need to have some capital in the game. You got to put some skin in the game to be able to see the money compound. Now, does that mean you have to have $100 to invest in the stock market? Absolutely not. So anyone that's watching this that's not a good fit for Invest with Ease, I don't want you to think that you cannot invest because you only have $20. You can still invest. This is just the baseline requirement for my program. And I established this baseline based on my observation of prior clients and the clients that I have seen make the most progress. So that's the criteria that I've established now. Because if you come in my program and you give me money, I want to help you get results. And if I see that you don't meet the criteria and that you're not going to get the results, I don't want your money. I want to help change your life, change your family's life, your kids, your grandchildren's lives. So when I take your money, I know I can get you that result. But if you're still in scarcity, if you're just barely surviving, if you robbing Peter to pay Paul, you can't pay your bills, and you're expecting the stock market to be your savior, there are other coaches out there that can help you. It's just not me. So I will not take your money at all. Right? And that $100 is primarily the minimum so that you can see the results. So you can see the fruit of your labor when you start applying the principles that I teach. Okay? Hope that answers your question and maybe give you a little more. But if you want to join us in Invest with Ease, if you meet that criteria, the link is in the video description to apply. And there are 3 seats left in the January cohort. I'm allowing 3 more ladies to join us. And all of you that have joined already, I think we've had our enrollment calls already. I think there may be one more person I need to meet with. After you enroll, I do get on the phone with you one-on-one to better understand your goals. And so I can start thinking through the game plan and the strategy. Then when the cohort begins in January, we're all learning together and we're going to implement your plan. But we start with a one-on-one so I can understand you better. So I think I have one more enrollment call to do, and I'm allowing 3 more ladies to join us. But yeah, so I share all that to say, if you're overwhelmed, if you're confused, think about the different sources that you're following. And while I've shared my experience, I've shared Miss Daisy's experience. She has told you herself, what her experience was when she was following all the different people, reading the books, doing the things, taking the 3 courses. Some of you watching may hear all that and still continue to do what you've been doing. And I'll tell you this. If you continue doing what you've been doing, you're going to open your phone and your laptop. You're going to continue scrolling through all the investing posts, all the reels on Instagram, watch all the videos on YouTube. I welcome you to continue watching me, but you're going to continue noticing the conflicting information, and you're going to continue feeling overwhelmed because this guru is going to say buy tech. This guru is going to say sell the tech because the market is about to crash. This creator is going to swear by passive investing. All you need is index funds. And this creator is going to swear by active trading. And then this influencer is going to say buy stocks. And this one is going to say buy ETFs. And you're going to be like, oh my God. You're going to close your laptop. You're going to continue feeling overwhelmed. The only difference, you might say, this is what Malika was talking about. You'll be able to understand why you feel overwhelmed now. And you may tell yourself, I'll figure this out later. I just don't have time right now. So nothing is going to change if you continue doing what you've always been doing. You will continue to feel overwhelmed. But I want you to imagine with me. Imagine with me. I see you, Miss Lily Bell. I'm going to look at your comment in just a second. But imagine with me for 1 second that you do cut through the noise, that you stop making the expensive mistake of allowing all the noise to overwhelm you. You know you want to invest, or you know that you should be investing with a better strategy. You already know that. I don't need to tell you that. But you also are now aware, as a result of this video, that you are allowing your money to sit idle in a raggedy portfolio that's not doing anything for you, or you're allowing your money to sit idle in a savings account that's just barely keeping up with inflation. I'll give you some credit and assume that your money is in a high yield savings account at least and keeping up with inflation. But the thing about it is, your money is sitting, barely keeping up with inflation. It's going to sit for another month as you continue to say, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. That month is going to turn into another year. And you know what will go along with another year that you allow to pass? You know what else is going to go along with that year? Your dreams of early retirement, your dreams of freedom, your dreams of wanting to take a sabbatical, take a break from that job that's stressing you out, your dreams of moving abroad in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Every time you say, I'll figure it out later, all those things that you want to do, you're pushing the goalposts out for them too. Now, that may not be your intention, but that's what you're doing. And you're letting the noise control your freedom. You're letting the noise win. But if you did the opposite, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you did the opposite. You found someone, that one voice that you trusted, that could guide you. You learn a single strategy, a single approach that fits your life, not a cookie cutter approach that fits their life, an approach that fits your life. And you had a plan with clear steps that you actually understood. And then the next time you opened your laptop and you watch the YouTube video, you can decipher. You know what's noise and what to ignore. And you'll know what makes sense to you. Or the next time you open your laptop and you log into your portfolio, you're not going to have a raggedy portfolio with a bunch of things you don't even know what you own. Your portfolio will be so streamlined. You will know exactly what you own. And when you're ready to buy more, you can do so with confidence. Because you will know what you're doing, but more importantly, why you're doing it. You won't feel overwhelmed anymore. The confusion will be gone. And the best part, your money will finally be growing. That could be you. But you got to cut through the noise. You got to cut through the noises. I know it probably feels impossible to sort through all the noise right now because it's everywhere. We live in the social media age and noise is everywhere. But feeling overwhelmed does not mean you're not capable. Yes, the stock market can be intimidating because it's a whole lot of moving pieces. It's a whole lot of parts to it. But it does not mean you're not capable. It just simply means that you're listening to too many voices and that you're trying to follow all the moving pieces. And you have information overload. But you don't have to. You don't have to do it that way. And that's the main point I want to drive home. If you take nothing else away from this video, you do not have to do it that way. If you're following a person and that's the way they do it and it works for them, you want their outcome. But you don't have to do it the way they're doing it. There are lots of traders that share their wins. They got $1 million portfolios. They drive Bentleys or whatever the lifestyle marketing that they do to convince you that they make a lot of money. I have a multi-7-figure portfolio too. But I don't do it their way. You see the point I'm trying to make? When you find your way, so first of all, find one source that you want to follow, and you find your way, your strategy, your approach that works for you. That overwhelming feeling that you have when you think about investing in the stock market, that feeling will go away. Miss Daisy, let me know in the chat. Do you feel overwhelmed when you're investing in the stock market now? I assure you, that feeling will go away when you find that one strategy that fits your life. Your money will stop sitting idle because now you'll know what to do with it. And because you'll know what to do with it, and when you start seeing the results in your portfolio, your confidence is going to grow. All right? And then as your confidence grows and you follow your plan that I can help you create, you'll start investing with ease and you'll realize I was making it too hard and it didn't have to be that way. Same thing Sis said about learning Spanish. Same thing Sis said about the system at work. They both realized they were making it too hard and it didn't have to be that way. Same thing with investing. So the real question that I want to leave you with, and thank you for sharing that, Miss Daisy. Let me put her comment on the screen. Miss Daisy said, not now. I feel secure and confident. And I know she's not saying that just for me. I know that's how she really feels because the plan that she's following is tailored to her. It's not something cookie cutter that Malika does and say, here, do this. Miss Daisy will probably be even more overwhelmed if I told her what I do. If I told her what I do, she has a plan and a strategy for her life. And that's why she feels, in her words, secure and confident because it makes sense for her. So, my question for you is, when are you going to stop letting the noise control your freedom? When are you going to stop letting the overwhelm and the intimidation keep you from what you really want? When? Are you going to keep delaying it another month, another year? And then you're going to be in your 60s and 70s saying, what I wish I would have done. It's like Daisy's experience, Miss Donna's experience. There's also a video on my channel from Tamika, from Kimberly, all of my clients that have had their own version of this same type of breakthrough. And they all do it their way. All of my clients don't do the same thing. They all do it their way. Ms. Donna told me the other day, all right, Malik, I'm ready to read charts now. I want to learn how to trade. Tamika said, I don't want nothing to do with trading. They all do things their way. And I can help you determine your way, your strategy, your approach that fits your life, your goals, your financial capacity. Right? I only have 3 seats left and invest with these. Once I fill those seats, enrollment will close. In fact, even if the seats don't fill, enrollment is going to close December in a week. December 6th, I think I said. Enrollment's going to close in a week, whether I fill the seats or not. But if the seats fill before then, enrollment will close before the next week is out. So if you want to join us, you want to learn how to cut through the noise, you want that one strategy that fits you, your life, your goals, you want that plan you can implement on your own after the program is over, then you join us. You join us. But if you have any questions about the stock market, about investing, or about my coaching program, go ahead and drop those in the live chat. I'll answer a few more questions like I did earlier. And then we can wrap up here. And it's getting late in the United States. So I won't hang on too much longer, but I do want to answer some more questions for you. What questions do you have for me? Stock market, investing, invest with ease coaching program? Throw them at me. What you got? What you got? Give me some questions so I can practice teaching to a 5-year-old. My grandson knows how to invest in Nike and Disney. Those are his favorite companies. First of all, Nike, because his dad is a sneakerhead. I mean, he got walls and walls and walls of sneakers, and he's training his son to do the same thing. So when his dad buys sneakers for himself, he buy the mini version for my grandson. So he got Jordans galore. And I'm like, bro, I'm gonna need you to invest in some Nike. Let your daddy put his money into the sneakers. Grandma gonna show you how to put your money into the stock. Let's see which one of us have the best returns. And he loves Disney. He loves Disney and anime. And he told me, Mimi, that's what he calls me. Mimi, I want to go to Japan. I was like, what you know about Japan? And then I learned from his other grandma that that's all he watches on TV and on the computer, stuff in Japan. So I'm like, I got to take my baby to Japan. He said he want to go to Disney in Japan. I said, well then, consider it done. So Disney and Nike is in his portfolio. My baby got a little portfolio, y'all. I got his portfolio in Fidelity, Um, I haven't checked on it lately, but the last time I looked at it, my baby boy got about $40,000 in his account. He doing all right to be, what is he, 11? I think he's 11. Yeah, he got about $40,000, and I haven't checked it, so it's probably 50 now because this year has been a beautiful bull market. So it might be closer to 50, but the last time I checked, it was 40. My baby got a little account going on. I love it. Love that for him. And he chose everything that's in there. Let's see, oh, you're welcome. I'm seeing a lot of new names in this live stream. I love it. Welcome. I'm for the class. You're gonna apply to join Invest with Ease. It's a coaching program. It's not just a class. It's a coaching. It's a 12-week coaching program, and I take you through all the principles that I've learned over the past 20 years. I teach it to you in 12 weeks. um, let's see, for kids, do you just do a custodial account? Yeah, you can do a custodial account. Or you can do a regular account and just make the kid the beneficiary. The only caution that I have about custodial accounts is keep in mind that when that child turns 18, that account now becomes theirs and you no longer have control over it. Right? So if you are building a portfolio, and let's say that portfolio grows to 6 figures, do you want to give an 18-year-old access to $100,000? Right? And legally, there's nothing you can do about it, because once they become of age, it's no longer a custodial account. It's their account. So unless you're teaching them along the way and not just padding the account with money, unless you're teaching them along the way so they know what to do with it when they turn 18, then that's fine. If you're not teaching them and you're just adding money because I want to help my kids, whatever the reason is, just keep in mind when they're 18, it's their account. It's no longer custodial. So, yeah. One more question, and then we'll wrap up here. Hey, Melissa. I should have a rule: before y'all can ask me questions, you need to speak to me. I haven't seen your name before, and I don't recall you telling me hello. You didn't say hello to the besties, Melissa. I'm going to let you slide today. Just remember next time. Right. I reinvest my dividends every month from FBY, AMZY. What's AMZY? AMZY. Girl, I don't even know what you invested in, but okay, that ain't the point. Netflix, Yield Max. Yield Max is a good strategy. Melissa, I don't understand your strategy. I don't understand. If you're asking me if reinvesting my dividends every month is good, period, hard stop, then yes. If that's what you're asking, then yes. When you're in the wealth accumulation phase, you're not retired or in early retirement and you need the extra source of income. When you're still working and you're in a wealth accumulation phase, you do want to have that drip turned on so that when your companies pay you a dividend, it's automatically reinvested and buy more shares. So yes, that's a good thing. If you are asking something different, can you word it a different way? Because I didn't understand. But if you're asking about reinvesting dividends through the drip, yep, you are doing excellent. Congratulations. Your money babies are multiplying faster. Purchased Nike some time ago. Waiting for the price to go back up so I can sell. Okay, Miss Optimistic, it sounds like you're investing based on hope. Hope is not a strategy, ma'am. That's another thing. My clients know when to cut their losses. We don't invest based on hope. Right? I need to get some help. Get some help and learn these strategies. Cut out those raggedy portfolios. Stop risking your life savings and your hard-earned money following random people. But anyway, this was good. This was good. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. If the video was helpful, hit the like button. Can y'all hit the like button for me? Smash that like button. And if you are new, I saw a lot of names in the live chat. If you're not subscribed, also hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next time I go live. I try to be consistent with the day I go live, but sometimes I change the day. And because of our time zone differences and y'all raggedy country still doing daylight savings time, sometimes I got to change the time just to be nimble. So I don't always announce it, but if you are subscribed, you'll get the notification, turn your notifications on. Or if you're on my email list, I do email my email list about an hour or so before I go live to let you know that I'm going live. But if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more of my content, whether it's a pre-recorded video that I upload or when I go live, make sure you hit that subscribe button, please. And just keep in mind what I said. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's understandable. It's not because you aren't capable of investing. Or it's not because the stock market is just so intimidating and so above you. It's not. It is not. You are smart. You are capable. If you are attracted to me, I know you're probably very similar to me. So that tells me you are smart and capable. And you're probably very strategic and a critical thinker. So the only reason why you feel overwhelmed is because you're consuming too much noise. Period. Point blank. Hard stop. It has nothing to do with you and your ability to learn. I want to make that very clear. I want to leave you with that thought. But what you do need is one source that you choose to follow. And you need one approach that fits your life and what you are trying to accomplish. That's it. That's it. And when you keep it that simple, you will start seeing your portfolio grow. And when you have a plan, you can manage your portfolio on your own. I've had clients that said, I used to have a financial advisor. I don't need my financial advisor anymore. I had a client that, oh Lord, I'm not going to go into her story, but she was paying these advisors a percentage of her portfolio. And when she was looking at her portfolio over the years, instead of growing, it was going down because of the fees that she was paying them. Now she is so happy that she was able to close those freaking accounts, and then they charged her more fees just to close the account. You don't need to pay someone to manage your money. You can do it yourself. All right? Anyone that wants to work with me, that want to go deeper with me, deeper than what I've shared in this video, I do that in Invest with Ease. The link is in the description of the video to apply. As I mentioned, 3 seats left. Enrollment will close December 6th, so a week from tomorrow, or whenever the last 3 seats are filled, whichever comes first. But yeah, I don't see any other questions. So I thank you all for watching. I appreciate you so much. I'll call y'all back later. Until next time. Bye for now.